Welcome. My name's Andrea Brown. This is Thrival Now, a YouTube channel where I am committed to helping you go from survival to thrival in every area of your life. I want to share today the first of a little mini series called Leaving a Legacy, and the insights that I have gleaned and have been living for the last 10 or 12 years from John Izzo's book, The 5 Secrets You Must Discover Before You Die. My brother sweetly gave this to me a number of years ago, and I have had the privilege of being invited to speak in a number of retirement communities. And one of my favorite workshops or seminars that I do is a really interactive presentation around these 5 secrets. But I think it's really important for us to reflect on that in other seasons. And this has been something that I feel like I've really lived in a lot of ways through my life. One, we live in a culture here, Western culture tends to prize beauty and youth over age and wisdom. And I, from a very young age, really sought out wisdom and was really intrigued by that and wanted to become wise. I really felt that right living and that I would avoid a lot of the pitfalls in life and difficulties if I could find the keys of wisdom. And so I sought out a lot of elders in my life, and I have many memories of sitting with grandparents and parents that were older than me and hanging out with older people so much more than many of my peers did in order to glean that wisdom, hearing their stories and things like that. And so I was really intrigued because the way John Izzo distilled this book was they sought out, I don't know how they went about it, but they ended up asking people to identify people that were living with happiness and meaning and purpose in their life well into old age. And somehow they came up, or they were given, people nominated all these people, and something like 15,000 people were nominated. And so they worked their way down this list, did a lot of maybe preliminary research, or they shook that all out, and what they came up with was a list of 247 people that they then proceeded to do long form interviews. And from those long form interviews, they were able to distill these 5 secrets. And so I love that this is just captured all that wisdom of these people that have lived and gone before us. And so one of the things, whether you're 20 years old now or 40 or 60, I really challenge you I want you to live so that you can leave a legacy. That is one of the great keys of life. And when you're in survival mode, it can be really hard to focus on that. But one of the best ways to get out of survival mode and begin to thrive is to get a vision of the future. And so I want to share some of those keys. Today I'm going to share the first key with you, and I'll post those other videos here shortly so that you can follow along, and I hope you share those as well. So the first key that I'm going to share today is the key to be true to yourself. Now, this struck a chord with me because when I was very young, I stumbled on the brilliant quote by Shakespeare, which was, "Be true to thine own self, be true." And I, in a really difficult season in my early, it was probably preteens, 11 or 12 years old, found this quote, and I loved that. And I knew that to navigate the difficult teenage years, it was already proving to be challenging. I needed this rudder. And so I wrote that on a little strip of paper, taped it to my private little mirror that I had, and that was part of my compass, or my kind of, what did I say? Rudder. I like that one too. That was how I navigated those difficult teenage years. Now, it wasn't until many years later that I found out that quote came from Macbeth, Shakespeare in Macbeth, and the rest of it's actually brilliant too. I didn't know it for years, but came to find out that it actually went, "To thine own self be true, and it will follow the day as the night. Thou canst be false to any man." And so I have lived this in a lot of ways, but I give you this today first because many people are living their life. They either stumbled into an area of work, or they've kind of stumbled onto a path in life, and they've found themselves on this path and they don't want to be on this path, but they're there because they're fulfilling someone else's dream, or it was the easy path, or they're so far down it that the idea of moving and changing is so scary and intimidating. They don't know what to do, and so you just keep pursuing this course. But if you want to learn to thrive in life, you have to get a vision for the future. And one of the things that involves is beginning to understand who you are made to be, what your gifts and your skills and your talents are. And one of the keys I'm going to give you today along this line is the idea that if you can figure out what makes you tick, what fires you up and gives you energy, what tickles you, what brings you joy, and what ticks you off, what brings you anger and causes you to kind of be willing to step into the fight. Those three things are a huge indicator of what you are wired for, where your gifts and your talents and your passion, and where you are gonna thrive in the world. And so I want to challenge you to answer those questions today, because that's going to be a big part of you learning to be true to yourself. If you want to live a life where you can leave a legacy, and and what does that mean? For most people, that it's, again, this joy, living from a place of joy and happiness, but also being able to live meaningfully, living a life of significance. Well, to live a life of significance usually involves leaving, as you'll find, I won't hint at the other keys, but leaving your mark on the world is a big part of it, right? And we're going to get into that. So the key today is to thine own self be true, or as John Izzo would say, be true to yourself. And I challenge you to do that by answering those three questions. What makes you tick? What tickles you, and what ticks you off? And share those in the comments, because your insights may stir and provoke someone else's. And share anything else that this makes you think of, because in community and there's so much more to be gained, and wisdom. And I know many of you watching this have just profound insights that can be contributed. And there's only so much that can be said in a very short video. But add your comments and share, because somebody needs that wisdom that you have. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next video here shortly. Thank you.